Hello, friends. Today we are going to talk about social influence better. Social influence. Let me start with giving you examples. Have you sometimes found that texting while driving the vehicle is very harmful? Even the researchers have shown that this is more harmful than driving with the drunken state. Driving with the drunken state, it's more accidents. 60% more accidents occur with while you are SMSing or WhatsApp. You are on WhatsApp. You're texting on while driving. So this is very hazardous for everybody's life. So people die. Most of the people die while texting and driving. So there are many government organizations and many private organizations, many NGOs who are running a campaign. So they are putting hoarding, they are ensuring that there is awareness campaign regarding stopping texting while driving. And many governments, many state governments, many governments of the world, they have formed strict rules to stop people of doing, and many people have understood it also. So this is an example. And second example, beta, let me tell you a story of a person who was a fraudist. He did much of the fraud. Why? Because he had kind of gone to many investors to he influenced them to invest on his companies and all that, so that the money is double and all that. So many of the investors who joined his company, and ultimately it was a strong failure, and he ran from there and later was caught hold by the police. Why I'm starting with these two stories? Why, beta? In these two stories, I'm talking why these two stories in today's time also. Let me tell you, if I go out for an emergency, and sometimes if I go out without wearing mask in this pandemic, pandemic times, it's a testing time when I don't have a mask. So I feel so embarrassed, and I feel like everybody is looking at me as an illiterate person, and who is a threat to the society. So I immediately rush back to my car if I'm driving, or to my gate, inside the gate. So these three examples, one example I have given of myself, like going out without mask is making me feel embarrassed, and then about this person who was who did frauds, and then about the people who are campaigning against texting and driving. So in these three cases, why we gave an example? Why? Because these are narrating the stories of social influence on us. Beta, every time we are under the social influence of do's and don'ts, of good and bad, and what makes other happy and all that. In the first case, it is to save people, but the campaigning, putting hoardings there and advertising these kind of, that you should not text while driving, they are putting a silent influence on all the citizens of the one country or whole globe, and setting the standards of not doing something is an example. The second example, I talked about a person who did fraud, and later on he was not guilty when caught by the police. So he told the police, well, this is my personality, that they were influenced by me, they were fools, it is not my fault, it is the fault of these people who were fools, who came under my influence. So here this single person exaggerated the influence in which many of the people who came in trap. And the third example, I said today's scenario of social influence is that nobody can move out without wearing a mask on the face, and without taking care of the social distancing. It is a sin, it is equal as if you are putting in crime and murder. So these kind of influences talk about the social influence. So I hope you have understood, because every second, since we are a part of the society, to everybody of us is under the social pressure and social influence. And we are under social influence. Why? Because we don't want to be away from the society we live in, the culture we live in, the country we live in. We really want to abide by the social norms which are set, in which we have to act upon. So this social influence, beta, is kind of displayed. It is displayed in three categories, three kinds of social influences. One is conformity, beta. Second is compliance, and the third one is obedience. So very shortly, we will talk about conformity, and then compliance, and then obedience. I hope you have understood what do we mean by social influence. Thank you so much, beta.